From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Good Friday morning. It's going to be another beautiful day out there. We'll trend a little bit warmer as we head into the weekend. Could be around 70 in the Tri-Cities for Saturday in particular. Keeping the forecast mostly dry through Tuesday, and then rain chances going up for lower elevations Wednesday and beyond. And we could have a couple different rounds of mountain snowfall for next week. Right now, you're taking a live look at Richland. This view coming courtesy of the Legends Casino and Hotel. We love this view here of Columbia Point. Current temperatures out there, yes, it is cold. Folks, 25 for the Tri-Cities, a couple 24s for Ellensburg and for Yakima. So you will have to bundle up. You might even have to break out the ice scraper for this morning. Here's your coat cast for this Friday for the Tri-Cities. Heavy jacket weather through 10 a.m. After that, it should be light jacket weather, feeling pretty pleasant at the warmest part of the day as we'll end up in the low 60s here in the Tri-Cities. So for today, I'd say mostly sunny skies, highs getting up into the 50s and into the 60s, but trending even warmer into this weekend. We'll talk about that coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Right now, caught on camera and raising concerns. It may look like a prank, but police say it's not, as a viral trend is now turning into a crime. This morning, the trend leading to felony damage, and why police say it's a major risk to homeowners. Plus, another scam warning this morning, fake emails with real consequences as a new scam targets locals. Coming up, what authorities say you should look out for and how to protect your money. The details straight ahead. Also ahead, a controversial plan now off the table. A home in Kennewick that was set to house sexually violent predators is now officially sold. Coming up, we'll hear from neighbors about the community pushback and the major outcome. These stories and a whole lot more coming your way on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest on your side.
Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Good Morning Northwest. Happy Friday. I'm Wendy Redman. Your time is 5:02. We begin this morning with a crime alert as Ellensburg police are now investigating a deadly domestic violence case. Officers responded around 12:30 Wednesday afternoon to a 911 call on the 1500 block of Glen Drive. That's where they say they found an 18-year-old woman unconscious and not breathing. She was taken to Kittitas Valley Hospital, then transferred to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle, where we are told she later died of her injuries. Police say the investigation is ongoing and they're asking people to call them with any information. They also urge anyone experiencing domestic violence to seek help immediately, including through local resources like Aspen in Ellensburg. In Walla Walla, concern over a dangerous trend is growing. Police are now sharing video of a suspect involved in damaging a resident's door earlier this week. Take a look. Authorities say the person was caught on camera kicking the door, causing felony level damage. Similar incidents have been reported recently. Police warn this behavior is linked to a dangerous TikTok trend that can be mistaken for a home invasion, putting both residents and suspects at risk. Police said they made one arrest, but anyone with information is asked to submit an anonymous tip online. A worker at the Hanford site died after a medical emergency on the job. Officials say Brian Foster collapsed inside a supply vehicle while working in the Essex Farm area. Co-workers and first responders tried life-saving efforts, but we are told he died at the scene. Foster was a nuclear chemical operator who had worked at the site for about 5 years. Grief counseling is being offered to co-workers as the community mourns his loss. In Yakima County, a Wapato man was just sentenced to 13 years in federal prison for a violent shooting on the Yakima Nation. 26-year-old Jeffrey Lucy pled guilty to assault with a dangerous weapon and causing serious injury. This after he shot an unarmed man in the back last year. The victim had multiple broken bones and a bullet lodged in his neck. The court also ordered Lucy to pay $10,000 in restitution for the victim's medical bills. Federal and local authorities say the investigation highlights their commitment to keeping communities on tribal lands safe. From the courts to a warning impacting your wallet now, the city of Yakima is alerting residents to a new email scam targeting people involved in planning and permitting. Fraudsters are apparently sending messages that appear to be from the city's community development or planning divisions, asking for wire transfers or payments on fake invoices. City officials say no systems were breached and legitimate payments are only accepted online through the city website or in person at City Hall. Residents are urged not to respond to suspicious emails and to verify any messages by calling 509-575-6126. Following up this morning on a long-standing community concern, after more than 2 months of tension, it is now official. The controversial Kennewick home, once planned to home sexually violent predators, officially has a new owner. The sale of the home closed yesterday. Apple Valley News Now was there as the neighborhood joined together to mark the moment yesterday evening. The home is at 8th and Edison. The realtor tells us the last couple of weeks were contentious between the previous owners, investors from Seattle, and the current anonymous buyer who bought it with the community in mind.
Yes, I have the keys in hand. We have officially closed on the LRA home. It is now the Redemption House, and we are so excited to give this back to the Tri-Cities as a home. But at the end there, we had to come in, and I just had to be frank and stern with them that the community is not backing down. So you have options, and is it worth, going to a lawsuit or just basically agreeing to us with the price that we gave them, which was more than fair.
As for what's next, the home will get some updates and will be listed on the market for someone else to eventually purchase. Now to a scene that brought crews out to Pasco. That's where an RV home was destroyed in a fire yesterday afternoon. Take a look. Fire crews were called out to the 1500 block of North 16th Avenue. This was around 3:45 after witnesses reported heavy flames. Power lines were also damaged and an alley was blocked off for repairs. Firefighters knocked down the fire. No other structures were damaged, but as you can tell, that RV was a total loss.
So we were on scene, I would say about 3 minutes after the initial dispatch, and first crew pulled an immediate line and stopped the spread of the fire, which kept it from out of the house, out of the neighbor's house, and any additional fuels. So that was great. The citizens here had a good set off from where the trailer was to where the house was, and that probably saved their house.
We're told no one was hurt. The cause remains under investigation. From emergency response to community connections, leaders from across the Northwest met in Pasco yesterday to connect with federal agencies and explore funding opportunities for local communities. As Apple Valley News Now's Dan Hansen reports, the summit really brought together those federal officials and regional leaders to discuss challenges facing rural areas.
Local leaders, nonprofits, and government officials packed the Hapo Center in Pasco Thursday for the Federal Partners Coalition Summit, connecting community members directly with federal agencies. Representatives from the Department of Transportation, Housing and Veteran Affairs, and Agriculture spent the day walking through programs meant to help rural towns. Franklin County leaders say hosting it here means local communities can talk face-to-face with the people making decisions.
I told the story of kind of where this started in Colotis with Director Kirk Pearson and myself having a conversation with how do we help the city of Colotis. Colotis has very little industry there, and they're struggling with specifically their water and waste systems, and how do we help them?
One big goal: helping cities and organizations understand how to actually get federal funding and resources. USDA Rural Development was there, the agency that helps with infrastructure, housing, and economic development. And its message was simple: they do more than people realize.
We can do water infrastructure, energy infrastructure, broadband infrastructure, community development if you want to build a new city hall or an essential community facility, housing programs. I mean, we really do so much.
The summit also included breakout sessions on veterans resources, infrastructure, and tools to help communities apply for grants, as well as a resource fair. Local leaders say these conversations can open doors to future partnerships and investment across the region. Only 5 of these summits are being held across the country this year. Being able to bring one here to Pasco gives communities the rare opportunity to speak with federal agencies about their needs. Reporting in Pasco, Dan Hansen, Apple Valley News Now.
County leaders say they hope the connections made during the summit will lead to future partnerships and federal funding opportunities for projects across Franklin County and the Tri-Cities region. Your time is approaching 5:11 here on your Friday. Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, a breakthrough in Washington, D.C., but not without compromise. Overnight, lawmakers move closer to a deal to end the partial government shutdown. This morning, we're breaking down what's in the agreement and what it means for workers here at home. Taking you to Capitol Hill after the break. But first, Chief Meteorologist Josh Culbreth will have a look at your Friday forecast. He's also talking about what's in store for the weekend. Grab your coat as you head out on this chilly Friday morning. We'll be right back.
When looking at your meal, you must always make sure there's enough sauce for every single bite.
Share and share alike with the 20-piece Chicken McNuggets for only $6.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Built for early mornings, long days, and whatever comes next. The Chevy Silverado is the truck that gets it done, day after day. Right now, get supplier pricing for all. Plus, stack on available incentives and rebates to save even more. Lease a new Silverado for just $417 a month. And when you buy with McCurley, it's easy, honest, and hassle-free from start to finish. McCurley Chevrolet, your way home.
Is my used car cursed?
Why is this load taking 2 hours?
Third rinse cycle commencing.
How do they know this car seat is safe?
I don't know. They've got people who do that.
But who's they?
You shouldn't have to question everything. For 90 years, Consumer Reports has been testing, reviewing, and advocating for you for answers you don't have to question. Consumer Reports. We never stop questioning.
If you use opioids like fentanyl, you need to be ready for the possibility of an overdose. For starters, communicate. If you're using alone, ask someone you trust to check on you. Stay accessible. Be sure people can get to you if you need help. And start with a small dose, especially if it's been a while. The short version, plan ahead. Stay safe. You're worth the effort. More tips at preventoverdosewa.org/safety tips.
Before you head for the slopes, catch the Apple Valley News Now Northwest Ski Report. It's on air during weather, online at applevalleynewsnow.com, or on our mobile app. The Northwest Ski Report from Apple Valley News Now, sponsored by Schweitzer in Sandpoint, Idaho.
Check it out. McDonald's is putting value back on the menu, which means make it a meal and save. Extra value meals are back. So now, get a sausage McMuffin with egg meal for $5.
Tonight, go inside a murder mystery with the woman who risked everything to catch a killer.
Were you ever concerned that you're sleeping with a killer?
2020, tonight on ABC and stream on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Kraken, Sabres. Coverage begins at 2:30 Saturday on My Network TV. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Culbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We will warm things up as we head into this weekend, but before we talk about the weekend, first we'll talk about today. Here's your day planner forecast for the Yakima Valley, starting off around freezing this morning. Well, we're way below freezing as we speak right now, but by 8 a.m. still around freezing, low 50s by lunchtime, and feeling quite nice for the warmest part of the days. We'll be up around 60 degrees. Here's your zone by zone tour of today's forecast. We start off in the Cascades, where highs are going to be up into the 40s and 50s. Then for the Kittitas Valley, mid 50s up and down the valley. For the Yakima Valley, we'll have a lot of 60s dotting the map, really exclusively 60s from Sela to Toppenish. Then for the lower Columbia Basin, mostly low 60s, could have some upper 50s down towards Boardman. For the Blue Foothills, also right around 60. And then for the Blue Mountains, we'll see a mixture of 50s and 60s. So a very nice Friday on tap. And then for tonight, it's not going to be as cold, but still I think those overnight lows could be around 27 for the Tri-Cities, 38 for Sunnyside, 34 for Yakima. And we will, like I said, warm up as we head into this weekend. Low to mid 60s for the Yakima Valley. That'll place us either at average or about 5 degrees warmer than average, trending cooler for next week. You can see those overnight lows going to take a big dip down by Monday night, down into the mid-20s. Also, pollen counts going way up there into that high territory for Monday and Tuesday. The top allergens continue to be juniper, alder, and poplar. Okay, we'll keep the forecast mostly dry through Tuesday, but also tracking a couple different rounds of mountain snowfall for next week. We'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Taking you to Capitol Hill this morning as the Senate made progress overnight in addressing the partial government shutdown. In a rare overnight session, the Senate unanimously voted in favor of funding a majority of the Department of Homeland Security. The measure includes funding to resume operations, but leaves out some proposals related to immigration enforcement and oversight. For more than a month, thousands of federal workers, including TSA officers, have been working without pay, including right here in our area. The agreement would reopen most of the Department of Homeland Security, meaning those missed paychecks could soon start flowing again. The bill now heads to the House, where its future remains uncertain. While that impact is still playing out nationwide, one organization in southeastern Washington is stepping in to help TSA workers and their families feeling the effects here at home. Apple Valley News Now's William Albert spoke with officials on how Second Harvest is making a difference.
Second Harvest has been serving the Tri-Cities for more than 30 years and even longer in Spokane. The nonprofit receives donations from grocery stores and local agricultural partners and distributes that food to more than 250 food banks and pantries across Washington and parts of Idaho. The organization, which is largely volunteer-based, also operates mobile markets, bringing food directly to communities, especially in rural areas where access may be limited.
Doing mobile markets in all sorts of areas, usually areas that maybe don't have as much food access in terms of a local pantry, or maybe they have limited hours at those pantries, and so we partner to be able to supplement in those areas. For example, yesterday we were in Dayton.
However, with a partial government shutdown that is still in effect, that's affected thousands of TSA officers across the country, Second Harvest has jumped into action, serving TSA officers and their families, helping put food on the table.
So recently we were able to distribute food at the Tri-Cities Airport for just over 50 families, and our Spokane branch was also able to provide food for families of TSA workers who are at the Spokane International Airport and the Pullman Moscow Airport.
Jorgensen says that Second Harvest learned about the need through local airports and the Visitor and Convention Bureau, and says responding to situations like this is exactly what the organization is built to do.
We hear about a need or identify a need, that's where we show up. So anything that we can do to just lighten the load.
Jorgensen says Second Harvest has helped supply TSA families with essentials like meat, pasta, and fresh fruit and vegetables. She adds that no matter your job or background, food insecurity can happen to anyone.
You'd be really surprised to find that most of the people who are coming to our mobile markets to receive groceries from us that week are just like this. They're families who have found themselves in an unforeseen circumstance, usually temporarily, or have fallen on a hard time, something unexpected has happened, and need that little extra bit of help while they're getting themselves back on their feet. So while most of the clients that we serve week to week are not making national news like maybe the TSA workers are right now, it's the exact same need.
While the government shutdown continues, Second Harvest says it will keep working to support families across the region and provide help to those who need it most. In Pasco, William Albert, Apple Valley News Now.
Officials say Second Harvest remains committed to serving the community and helping families facing food insecurity year-round. Your time is 5:19. Still ahead on Good Morning Northwest, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth coming back with a look at your full First Alert weather forecast. This is a live look out to Ellensburg on your chilly Friday morning. What you can expect as we head into the afternoon hours. Keep it here.
Thinking about taking a break from the gas pump? Spring into savings with a new fuel-efficient hybrid electric vehicle from Overturf Kia. Show up and show off in a new class-leading turbocharged 2026 Sportage HEV or 2026 Sorento Hybrid with standard third-row seating. Either one can be yours for 0% APR for 48 months and make your first payment up to 90 days after driving it home. Test drive today at Overturf Kia. Overturf Kia, Highway I-182 and Road 100 exit on St. Thomas Drive, Pasco.
These days, the world is moving faster than ever, but I like to say, not so fast when it comes to a progressive disease like chronic kidney disease. Jardiance is a little pill proven to slow the progression of CKD and reduce the risk of kidney failure, which can lead to dialysis.
Serious side effects include increased ketones in blood or urine and infection between and around the anus and genitals. Both may be fatal. Severe allergic reactions, dehydration, urinary tract or genital yeast infections in men and women, and low blood sugar. Stop taking and tell your doctor right away if you have nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, rash, swelling, trouble breathing or swallowing. Tell your doctor about lightheadedness, weakness, fever, pain, tenderness, redness, or swelling between the anus and genitals. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have new pain or tenderness, sores, ulcers, or infection in your legs or feet.
Find the goodness of slow by saying, not so fast, CKD. Ask your doctor about Jardiance.
Slow down, look around, feel at home. Kittitas County invites you to experience the heart of small-town life. From sunrise coffee stops and welcoming Main Street stays to scenic trails, family-owned restaurants, local wineries, hometown breweries, handcrafted shops, and more. Plan your small-town getaway with the Love Local Passport, a curated guide to the best of Kittitas County. Download the Passport, plan your stay for a true small-town escape at centralwashingtonoutdoor.com.
Board-certified orthopedic surgeon Dr. Sam Strebel provides the full spectrum of orthopedic care.
A lot of times when I talk to patients, they're in so much pain that they can't do their hobbies. We can use the machine to balance the knee before we make any bony resections, and then that will hopefully translate to a faster recovery and a better, more natural feeling knee.
To learn more about services including robotic joint replacement at Prosser Orthopedic Center, visit prosserhealth.org.
Judy Justice.
And I'm just getting started.
Today at 4 on Apple Valley News Now.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We'll keep the forecast mostly dry through Tuesday. After that, it gets a little bit more interesting. So here are those day-by-day precip chances for the Tri-Cities. You see it will be all goose eggs on the screen through Tuesday, but then rain looking likely by Wednesday. Less so for Thursday. Of course, you can see day by day, even hour by hour rain chances for your exact location, just like that, by downloading the Apple Valley News Now First Alert weather app, free in the App Store or on Google Play. Okay, as we head into next week, we're tracking more wet weather like you just saw for lower elevations, but also some more wintry weather for higher elevations. A couple different rounds of mountain snowfall on the way. And it's because of this swirl way off in the Pacific. It doesn't seem like our problem for now, but as we head into next week, it will end up being our problem. So we're going to parse this out into its two different rounds. The first round is going to be 11 a.m. on Sunday to 5 a.m. on Tuesday. You see the lower elevations not really picking up anything at all. The Cascades can maybe pick up around a ½ an inch of rainfall. Doesn't really look like much for the Blues. And in terms of snowfall from this round, maybe up around 4 inches for some of our Cascade passes, a couple inches for Oregon 204 at Tollgate. But okay, it gets a lot more interesting with round number 2, 5 p.m. on Tuesday to 5 a.m. next Friday morning. See lower elevations. Now we're talking 0.1 to 0.2 inches for the Kittitas Valley. We're looking at the same thing for the lower Columbia Basin, around a ½ an inch of rainfall for the Blue Foothills, and much more moisture this time for the mountains. Much more snow this time as well, as models are trending a little bit snowier with this round. We're now looking at around a ½ a foot of snowfall for Snoqualmie Pass and White Pass. The same thing for Oregon 204 at Tollgate. not the best news for past travel, but we certainly need a lot more snowfall than this, and I will underscore that with your climate report coming up in a few minutes. Okay, here's your 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities, warming up into the mid to upper 60s this weekend, cooler next week with wet weather returning by Wednesday. In Yakima, dry through Tuesday with highs bouncing between the 50s and 60s. In Ellensburg, highs mostly in the 50s with lows down into the 20s and 30s, turning windy for tomorrow. In Hermiston, dry for the next 5 days, but rain likely by the middle of next week. And finally, for Walla Walla, dry for Friday and Saturday, small shower chances Sunday and Monday, then a wetting rainfall by next Wednesday and Thursday.
All right, Josh, local living this morning now, shall we? The Yakima Greenway has some curious and cute residents that might just welcome you on your next visit.
Yeah, officials say keep your eyes up to spot these two sleepy raccoons. Their hollow tree gives them just enough space for a little stretching before resting for the day.
Just peeking out there. Officials say they are mostly nocturnal and often in pairs during the colder months to help keep warm. So adorable, right? But aren't raccoons a little dangerous sometimes?
They can be vicious.
Yeah.
They can be rabid. There's that scene from Elf that I feel like I've talked about at this desk many times where Will Ferrell leans in, look at you, and then attacks his face. So it's in the back of my mind.
That's what we always have to think of when we think of raccoons,
yes.
right? Cute, yes. But keep our distance. Your time is 5:26. Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, a baby monkey has found a new friend, and we've got the adorable first look at this viral duo. Then drivers took creativity to a whole new level this week, from a fake passenger to plastic missiles on the highway. This morning, we're taking a look at this week's most unbelievable stories. Take a look at this is coming up right after the break.
My moderate to severe plaque psoriasis held me back, but now I'm all in with clearer skin, thanks to Skyrizi.
Is it getting clearer? I feel free to bare my skin, yeah, that's on me.
Most people achieved clearer skin from head to toe. Many were 100% plaque-free. And many were completely clear, even at 5 years.
People also saw significant improvement in pain, redness, itching, and burning.
Don't use if allergic. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Nothing and me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin fits my new plan. Nothing is everything.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
Central Washington has grown and changed over the years, and through it all, what has remained the same is the dedication of Abeyta Nelson Injury Law. Since 1982, our attorneys have been trusted by countless people in need. We listen, we care. We know what it takes to fight for justice. That's why our clients and their families return, generation after generation. Abeyta Nelson, we take your injury personally.
March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month, an important reminder that screening saves lives. At Prosser Digestive Health Center, our expert team provides advanced, compassionate care close to home, from preventive screenings to diagnosis and treatment of digestive conditions. If you're 45 or older or have a family history, don't wait. A colonoscopy can detect cancer early when it's most treatable. Schedule your screening today by calling 509-786-5599 or learn more at prosserhealth.org. This is how we care.
Imagine handing a local family the keys to a safe, affordable home. It all starts with land. At Tri-County Partners Habitat for Humanity, land is the most costly barrier to building affordable homes. Thanks to an anonymous donor and a local developer partnership, every donation is matched. We need to raise $370,000 to secure 3 buildable lots for future Habitat homes. Support thriving neighborhoods for generations. Donate today and your donation will be doubled to make an even greater impact.
Flyers, Red Wings at 8, Saturday on ABC.
Time to check this out. This week, some stories were just too strange and too heartwarming not to share. This morning, we have a major update on the viral baby monkey who captured the internet's heart. The little guy has now made a real friend, and the zoo says these two are just inseparable.
And if that's not enough, drivers across the country got creative in ways you won't believe, from fake passengers in carpool lanes to missiles on the highway. With this week's most unbelievable stories, here's Jeremy Roth with today's Take a Look at This.
We could all use a little good news these days, and here's some that'll make fans of Punch the Monkey go ape. It seems our beloved Punch has finally made a real best friend. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know that Punch went viral when adorable video of the baby macaque monkey toting a stuffed animal everywhere took the internet by storm. The story took a dark turn when officials at Japan's Ichikawa City Zoo confirmed the plushie was a comfort device of sorts for Punch, who was abandoned by his mother and later bullied by his enclosure mates. But now the zoo says the 7-month-old is finally fitting in, hugging and playing with others, and has been seen clinging to what the zoo calls his new best friend, another macaque named Mo. So now we can count at least one official pal for Punch, you know, in addition to his millions of fans worldwide. From a very real friend to a very, very fake one. That's what California Highway Patrol troopers discovered riding in a vehicle using the carpool lane on the I-10. Officials say the driver had used a hooded jacket to turn his front seat into a faux bro, appearing to ride shotgun. But a keen-eyed motor officer busted the rush hour ruse wide open, denying the cunning carpool creativity. But that wasn't even the weirdest traffic stop we have. No, this half-baked fake missile mistake takes the cake. Florida Highway Patrol stopped a truck appearing to transport a pair of missiles after they received several calls from concerned motorists. Turns out the Florida man/Rocket Man told FHP officers the missiles were plastic fakes used for shows and events. Officers deemed the situation safe, suggested better modes of transport for the props, and then, of course, took selfies and posted them to Insta. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Well, yeah, a selfie or it didn't happen, right?
Yes.
That would be a weird sight.
Of course, it was in Florida. I feel like
Right.
Florida makes a lot of appearances in those little packages. But can we go back to the monkey?
I knew you were going to go back. Yep.
Love a good redemption arc. He's so cute, and good on Mo for stepping up, being a good friend.
I know. So now we have Punch and Mo. And I mean, of course, everybody's going to be following them to see how their friendship progresses and if they get into any little fights or how they're doing. But I'm glad he has a monkey friend, because I don't think that he knows how many people friends he has across the world, and he might feel a little lonely. So
yeah, he's got two sitting up here at this desk.
Oh, big fans. And Stacy is a huge fan
Big
as
Punch
well.
fan?
Oh,
Awesome.
Yes, definitely. Your time is 5:32. Still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest, Kennewick is making major moves to improve water and wastewater. This as city leaders reveal the projects boosting safety and capacity. In the next half hour, we'll see how Kennewick's Irani collector and treatment plant projects are preparing for the future. Plus, a furry solution for a winged problem. Goose overpopulation meets its match in Walla Walla. A border collie named Ruthie is helping to relocate geese from Pioneer Park. This morning, we'll show you how she's helping to protect the park and the community without harming any animals in the process. These stories and more coming up. But first, here are your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Netflix price hikes. They affect every tier. The least expensive plan is going up by $1 per month. The premium plan, a $2 increase. It's the streamer's second price increase in less than 2 years. Netflix says it's investing in content. English Wikipedia has banned AI-generated articles, the platform saying that using AI to create copy often violates its core content policies. Editors will still be allowed to use AI on a limited basis to refine their own writing or assist with language translation. Apple has discontinued the Mac Pro, its high-end desktop that's popular with video editors and photographers. The Mac Pro costs $7,000, and the company's less expensive Mac Studio now performs many of the same functions. Those are a look at your Tech Bites. I'm Hannah Battah. Have a great day, everyone.
Pump up the volume. Pump up the volume. Pump up the.
Meet my dad. National University supports all his ends with flexible online courses. He can be a student and teach me how to hit a curveball. He's an Ander. National University supporting all your ends.
I know what I'm doing. I know how horrific it is. Whenever I taste the Cinnadust, I know I'd do it all again. Must Cinnadust.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest, on your side.
Good morning and happy Friday to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Good Morning Northwest. I'm Wendy Redman. Your time is 5:35 as you get your day started. And as you do so, I'm sure you're wondering what the weather is like out there. Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth back with us again. And Josh, I do have to say I did break out the big coat this morning.
It's a big cold kind of weather out there for this morning as we're seeing temperatures down into the 20s, but thankfully we're going to be up around 70 for Saturday in the Tri-Cities, keeping the forecast mostly dry through early next week, but then rain chances going up and we could have a couple different rounds of mountain snowfall into next week. Right now you're taking a live look at Kennewick. This view coming courtesy of our very own Apple Valley News Now First Alert weather app, which you can download for free in the App Store or on Google Play. It's 25 degrees right now in the Tri-Cities, a couple 24s for Ellensburg and for Yakima, so you will have to break out the big coat, maybe even the ice scraper for this morning. Here is your, hey, speaking of coats, here is your coat cast for the Yakima Valley. Heavy jacket weather through 10 a.m. After that, it should be light jacket weather as those high temperatures get up into the 50s and 60s. Mostly sunny once again for today, so just another postcard-esque day out there. Okay, like I said, temperatures going up into this week, and we'll talk about that. Also an update on those climate numbers. All that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Josh, now we do begin this half hour of news in Kennewick, where city leaders say major infrastructure projects are moving forward as they work to improve water quality and expand treatment capacity. One of those projects includes upgrades to the city's Ranney Collector in Columbia Park, a key part of Kennewick's water system that has tested for small amounts of PFAS, a group of chemicals found in water sources across the country. At the same time, the city is also making progress on its wastewater treatment plant, another major project aimed at supporting future growth and maintaining reliable service.
They're under construction. The greenhouse is going up now, so hopefully we'll be able to wrap that up here in the next few months.
City leaders say both projects are critical investments in long-term infrastructure, helping ensure safe drinking water and effective wastewater treatment for the growing Kennewick community. Walla Walla is taking a creative approach, you might say, to managing wildlife in city spaces. The city is now turning to a four-legged solution to tackle goose overpopulation at Pioneer Park. Starting March 30th, a trained border collie named Ruthie will begin work chasing geese without harming them, of course, to encourage them to relocate. City officials say the growing number of geese has created health and safety concerns, including aggressive behavior and water quality issues from all of the droppings. Ruthie will be handled by a volunteer and can be identified by a red vest while on duty. Residents are asked to give her some space so she can do her job safely and effectively. It is 5:38 and still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Power at the plate, but a late inning letdown. The Mariners open the season with a loss, and this morning we have the full game breakdown. Plus, a Tri-Cities school celebrates a pair of state champions. We're talking sports when we come back.
This newscast sponsored by Multicare Yakima Memorial Hospital. Excellence you can trust.
Tonight, go inside a murder mystery with the woman who risked everything to catch a killer.
Were you ever concerned that you're sleeping with a killer?
2020, tonight on ABC and stream on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Truck Month only happens once a year.
So it's gotta be big.
Like available Pro Power on board big.
Protect it with the Ford Security Package big.
There's only one, Ford Truck Month.
Deal's so good, we need a bigger door big.
Chevy trucks are as capable and dependable as the Chevy people who drive them. You probably know one.
Your sister. Your buddy. The ones who always show up. They all have that little extra something. And maybe you got it too.
It's Chevy Truck Month, just announced. Get $8,360 total value on this 2026 Chevy Silverado. Plus, Costco executive members can get a $12.50 members-only incentive.
Every home starts with a move. Not just the one to a new address, but the moves along the way. The choices, the negotiations. In those moments, certainty matters. That's why Windermere Group 1 agents are trained, supported, and prepared for every step. Because when it's time to move, you should be sure you're making the right one. Windermere Group 1. Confidence in every move.
Slow down, look around, and let your creative side lead the way. Experience small-town life in Ellensburg, Washington. From crafted coffee and inspiring Main Street stays, to inventive cuisine, local wine, craft beer, locally curated shops, outdoor art, galleries, and the artists who shape this community. Get inspired and plan your creative escape with the Love Local Passport, a curated guide to Ellensburg's best. Download the Passport to plan your stay where creativity lives everywhere at myellensburg.com.
Ever feel like something's missing? Like there's a hole in your morning routine? Well, we've got just the thing. At Some Bagels, we make more than fresh bagels. We make a variety of baked goods to fill your day with everything you've been missing. Have your favorite coffee drink with our in-house roasted espresso beans. And enjoy your bagel with our flavored cream cheeses. Because at Some Bagels, the only thing better than the hole in the middle is everything around it. I want some, you want some, we want some. Gimme Some Bagels.
Truck Month only happens once a year.
So it's gotta be big.
Like available Pro Power on board big.
Protect it with the Ford Security Package big.
There's only one Ford Truck Month.
Deal's so good, we need a bigger door big.
I was betrayed.
What happens when the person you love turns out not to be who you think they are? My marriage ended with a 911 call.
The tape is blood-curdling.
This is betrayal.
Premieres Sunday on ABC and stream on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It is that time of the week once again, time to take a deep dive into those climate numbers. So we start off with the rainfall numbers we've been tracking since October 1st. So here is the rainfall we've actually been tracking. Here's the rainfall that we would expect. And then you can do a little bit of math and you can determine the surpluses and the deficits. And thankfully we don't have any rainfall deficits. We're just barely breaking even right now in Pendleton and in Yakima. And some decent surpluses in Ellensburg, also for the lower Columbia Basin, also just barely breaking even for Walla Walla. So the rainfall numbers overall pretty good. And then when you talk about the water that's actually in our reservoirs in the Yakima Basin, we have 44% more than you would typically expect for late March. So this is an excellent number. But the problem with this, and this has been the problem all winter and now spring long, we just do not have the necessary snowpack up in the Cascades. Because think about it, as we head into the spring and summer months, we're banking on the snow to melt to replenish our reservoir levels, but that's hard to do. That's very hard to do when you have 50% less snow than typical, which is what we're tracking right now in the Yakima Basin. And then for the Blues, for McKay Dam, this situation is much, much worse. We already have 32% less water than we would typically expect for late March. And then you factor in the snowpack that we don't have. We have 70% less snow than typical for late March for the Umatilla, Walla Walla, and Willow Basins. So I'm very concerned about these numbers in the Blues. There's a little bit more hope up in the Cascades, but these numbers are certainly very concerning. We'll have to see how it all shakes out as we come down the home stretch here of wet season. Okay, here is your ski report brought to you by Schweitzer. The base depth only at a measly 11 inches for Schweitzer, and then for Ski Bluewood only at 16 inches. Again, it's just an entirely different ball game when you start talking about White Passes. The base depth here is over 4 feet, right at 50 inches, so good for White Pass. And then the fresh powder that's in the forecast over the next few days, it does look like by the time we get to Sunday, as round number 1 of snowfall rolls in, we could see some fresh powder for these resorts, especially for White Pass. So again, that's a little bit of good news, but we certainly need a lot more snow than this. And there is another round of snow as we head into next week. We'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Josh. Well, this morning, baseball is back. The Mariners opened the season last night with a tough loss, falling 6-4 to the Guardians. Seattle's offense showed power early with 4 solo home runs, accounting for all their runs. They jumped out with a lead and kept the game close through the middle innings. But the turning point came in the 7th when Cleveland broke a 3-3 tie with a 2-run double. The bullpen couldn't hold late as the Guardians pulled away for the win. The 4-game series continues tonight. From opening day in Seattle to a championship here at home, Richland High School held a community celebration for their 2 athletic state champions. Take a look. The boys basketball team won the state title for the first time since 1979, capping off their perfect season. Senior Savannah Thorpe was also honored for becoming the first female wrestling state champion in Richland history. Thorpe, along with 5 members of the basketball team, will graduate at the end of the school year, and they reflected on their high school experience. Athletes and coaches gave speeches to the crowd and got to watch specially edited videos of their championship journeys for the very first time. It is 5:46. Still ahead, we have your morning sprint, everything you need to know before you head out the door this morning. And brace yourself, it's a bit of a chilly one out there. Josh is coming back with a look at your full First Alert weather forecast when we come back.
Calling all ladies. Thunder from Down Under is rolling into town. It's the Most Wanted 2026 tour. Saturday, May 9th at Legends Casino Hotel. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com or the Legends gift shop. The heat is rising, so grab the squad for the ultimate girls' night out back. Thunder from Down Under, May 9th at Legends Casino Hotel in Toppenish. Don't miss the Thunder.
Need to liven up your living room? Deck out your dining room? Beautify your bedroom? We've got just the thing during the spring clearance sale at Furniture Row. Right now, all clearance furniture is on sale throughout the store. Shop fresh new looks for every room in your home and save over 50%. Plus, sleep easy on the budget-friendly Colorado Queen mattress for only $6 a month. Shop the comfort, the style, the selection, the savings. The spring clearance sale, only at Furniture Row.
The White Card, a powerful resource for former Hanford and DOE employees. If you worked in the area and have come down with cancer, lung disease, Parkinson's, or renal failure, you may be eligible for financial compensation and healthcare services. A simple phone call can get the process started. Atomic Home Health. Don't wait. Call today.
These days, the world is moving faster than ever. But I like to say, not so fast when it comes to a progressive disease like chronic kidney disease. Jardiance is a little pill proven to slow the progression of CKD and reduce the risk of kidney failure, which can lead to dialysis.
Serious side effects include increased ketones in blood or urine and infection between and around the anus and genitals. Both may be fatal. Severe allergic reactions, dehydration, urinary tract or genital yeast infections in men and women, and low blood sugar. Stop taking and tell your doctor right away if you have nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, rash, swelling, trouble breathing or swallowing. Tell your doctor about lightheadedness, weakness, fever, pain, tenderness, redness, or swelling between the anus and genitals. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have new pain or tenderness, sores, ulcers, or infection in your legs or feet.
Find the goodness of slow by saying, not so fast, CKD. Ask your doctor about Jardiance.
Washington workers, you can get a refund of up to $1,330 back on taxes paid last year. See if you qualify and learn how to apply at www.workingfamiliescredit.wa.gov.
ET and Extra, tonight at 7 on Apple Valley News Now.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We will be trending warmer as we head into the weekend. Pretty close to 70 degrees in the Tri-Cities for Saturday. Technically, we're going with 68, but that's going to be 7 degrees warmer than normal for this time of the year. But you see, we trend cooler into next week. We'll have more to say about that in a second. But in the meantime, keeping the forecast dry through Tuesday. But then temperatures go down as rain chances go up, way up for Wednesday, less so for Thursday. And of course, you can track day by day, hour by hour rain chances just like that for your exact home address location by downloading the Apple Valley News Now First Alert weather app free in the App Store or on Google Play. Okay, into next week, multiple rounds of rainfall and snowfall, 2 rounds of mountain snow next week to be precise. So let's break it down round by round. Well, first of all, here's why it's happening. We have this swirl that is slowly but surely creeping its way closer and closer to us here in the Pacific Rim. And so that will end up being the big weather maker as we head into next week. And it's going to hit us in 2 waves. Wave number 1 is going to be 11 a.m. on Sunday to 5 a.m. on Tuesday. You see lower elevations not picking up that much at all from this round. Even higher elevations not going to get that much in terms of just pure moisture, liquid moisture, but in terms of snowfall from this round, maybe up aroand 4 inches for Snoqualmie Pass and White Pass. Okay, round number 2, definitely the winner of the 2. As you can see, lower elevations now 0.1 to 0.2 inches for the basin, around a ½ an inch of rainfall for the foothills, much more moisture this time for the mountains, so trending in the direction we like to see it trending in, and we definitely like to see these numbers going up as well, because I talked about it a few minutes back. We desperately need snowfall. Like the whole ball game is going to come down to snowfall we can eke out in the month of April. So this is going to be a good start. Around a ½ foot of snow for Oregon 204, for Snoqualmie Pass, and for White Pass, but we definitely need a lot more. Here's a 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities, warming up into the mid to upper 60s this weekend, cooler next week with wet weather returning by Wednesday. In Yakima, dry through Tuesday with highs bouncing between the 50s and 60s. And then for Ellensburg, highs mostly in the 50s with lows in the 20s and 30s, turning windy on Saturday. For Hermiston, dry for the next 5 days, but rain likely by the middle of next week. And finally, for Walla Walla, dry for Friday and Saturday, small shower chances Sunday and Monday, then a wetting rain by next Wednesday and Thursday.
Now, the Morning Sprint.
Get you started with your morning sprint at 5 a.m. right here. It is actually 5:51. Here are the top 5 local things you need to know this morning. Ellensburg police are investigating a deadly domestic violence case after an 18-year-old woman died of her injuries. Officers responded to a 911 call Wednesday afternoon on Glen Drive, where they say they found the victim unconscious and not breathing. She was first taken to Kittitas Valley Hospital, then airlifted to Harborview in Seattle, where we are told she later died. Police say the investigation is still active, and they are asking anyone with any information to come forward. They're also urging anyone experiencing domestic violence to seek help, including through local resources. Walla Walla police are warning about a dangerous trend after a suspect was caught on camera kicking in a resident's door. Take a look at your screen here. Officials say the incident caused felony-level damage and is part of a social media trend that can easily be mistaken for a real home invasion. Police say that misunderstanding could put both residents and those involved at serious risk. One arrest has been made, but investigators say similar incidents have been reported. Anyone with any information is asked to submit an anonymous tip. A Hanford worker died after a medical emergency on the job. Officials say Brian Foster collapsed inside a supply vehicle while working in the Essex Farm area. Co-workers and first responders tried life-saving measures, but we are told he died at the scene. Foster had worked at Hanford for about 5 years as a nuclear chemical operator. Grief counseling is now being offered as coworkers and the community mourn his loss. A home in Kennewick that was set to house sexually violent predators now has a new owner. The sale of the house officially closed yesterday. The realtor says the process was contentious, involving investors from Seattle and an anonymous local buyer. That buyer purchased the home with the community in mind. The plan now, make some updates and eventually put the home back on the market for a future owner. The city of Yakima is warning residents about a new email scam targeting people involved in planning and permitting. Officials say fraudsters are sending messages that look like they're from the city, asking for wire transfers or payments on fake invoices. The city says its systems have not been breached and legitimate payments are only accepted online or in person. Residents are urged not to respond to suspicious emails and to verify any requests directly with city officials. In your national headlines this morning, the Treasury Department announced President Trump's signature will now appear on U.S. dollar bills, marking the first time a sitting president's signature has been included on paper money. Officials say the move honors the nation's 250th anniversary. The president's image is also planned for commemorative coins. Democrats in Congress have introduced legislation to block the move. The Treasury says additional details on timing and rollout will be shared in the coming weeks. In your business headlines now, the Five Guys CEO is giving workers $1.5 million in bonuses. Fortune reports that's after they bore the weight of an overwhelmingly popular 40th anniversary deal. Jerry Merle tells the outlet he had no idea the BOGO offer would cause some locations to run out of food. The chain says it tried to make it up to customers with so-called 40th after-party deals earlier this month. Time for what's trending. Grab your allergy meds because this is one for the books. A 911 call came in reporting what looked like a grass fire in Iowa.
But when firefighters rushed in ready to battle flames, they discovered the smoke was something entirely different. Take a look.
I'm trying to see. I see it a little bit. Yeah. Look at the tree line right there.
Oh man,
That's better view.
My nose is like tightening up as I watch this. Well, the smoke that neighbors had alarmed was actually plumes of cedar pollen drifting from the trees and creating what looked like clouds of smoke.
I would think that was as well. So clouds of pollen, not fire, left locals sneezing instead of evacuating. Officials quickly confirmed no controlled burns were happening and deemed the area safe. Of course, unless you are prone to allergies. Otherwise, then that would be horrible.
Yes.
Do you have bad allergies?
Yes. And, you know, I have a cat that I'm actually like kind of allergic to, and she sheds around this time of the year. So definitely I go through phases of it. We'll just put it that way.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think that would have done a number on a lot of people.
I think so.
Even if you didn't have allergies, I think that would affect you.
Yeah, even I feel like if you were like within a mile radius of it, you'd start to feel the impacts of it.
Man, that was rough.
Yes.
All right, your time is 5:57. Still ahead. Overnight, the Senate making a major move on Homeland Security funding, but TSA workers are still going without pay as the government shutdown drags on. This morning, we're taking a look at how local families are coping and the help stepping in to fill the gap. Plus, spring is in the air as cherry blossoms prepare to bloom across south central Washington. Checker Cherries is inviting visitors on a scenic driving tour with orchards, vineyards, and tastings along the way. Coming up, we'll give you all the details to plan the perfect spring outing before the blooms disappear.
And it's going to be another beautiful day out there. We're warming up as we head into this weekend and more active weather for next week. We'll talk about it all coming up on Good Morning Northwest at 6.